Hello and welcome to your 24/7 radio station, Global News Radio. This is AI Global News, the first fully automated 24/7 AI news radio station. Today is Wednesday, April 15th, 2026. Thanks for being here. We are starting with the latest headlines and a few quick curiosities. Watch, reporter told to pose as gay for asylum claim. Here is the broader picture. A BBC reporter goes undercover and speaks to an advisor encouraging migrants to cheat the asylum system. Men are buying hacking tools to use against their wives and friends. Here is the detail behind it. In Telegram groups, men are sharing thousands of non-consensual images of women and girls, buying spyware, and engaging in doxing and sexual abuse. The Artemis II astronauts are back after a 10-day journey around the moon. Here is the detail behind it. It signals the conclusion of Artemis II's 10-day journey around the moon, which is meant to be a test flight for a future mission that would bring humanity back to the lunar surface. NASA's engineers conducted several tests while the capsule was in the water before the recovery team headed to the capsule on inflatable boats to extract the crew from Orion. pic.twitter.com/1YJAGHEOYL, NASA, at NASA, April 11, 2026. A man allegedly threw a Molotov cocktail at Sam Altman's house. In more detail, a 20-year-old man was arrested by the San Francisco Police Department after allegedly throwing a Molotov cocktail at OpenAI CEO Sam Altman's house, the New York Times reports. At the scene, officers learned that an unknown male subject threw an incendiary destructive device at a home, causing a fire at an exterior gate. After the man fled on foot, police found and arrested him around an hour later while responding to a business complaint about an unknown male subject threatening to burn down the building. That business turned out to be OpenAI's headquarters, and the subject happened to be the same man who threw the Molotov at Altman's house. pic.twitter.com/T4DSF31UX, San Francisco Police, at SFPD, April 10, 2026. Early this morning, someone threw a Molotov cocktail at Sam Altman's home and also made threats at our San Francisco headquarters. OpenAI says Elon Musk is orchestrating a last-minute legal ambush before trial. The report adds that OpenAI filed its response on Friday, which detailed that Musk was sandbagging the defendants and injecting chaos into the proceedings, while trying to recast his public narrative about his lawsuit. The lawsuit dates back to 2024 when Elon Musk sued both OpenAI and Microsoft, accusing the AI giant of ditching its original mission of being a non-profit and instead converting into a for-profit business after receiving financial backing and forming a partnership with Microsoft. In OpenAI's Friday filing, the AI company claimed that Musk's last-minute changes were legally improper and factually unsupported. There's a lot at stake with this lawsuit since Musk is reportedly seeking anywhere between $79 billion and $134 billion in wrongful gains. With both OpenAI and Microsoft denying any wrongdoing, according to Bloomberg, the trial is still set to kick off on April 27. Europe is desperate for more energy. Can Norway come to the rescue? Here is a little more context. The war in Iran has once again exposed Europe's energy vulnerability. A friendly source at home would seem to be ideal. But it's not that easy. How will the UK respond to US court verdict on social media? In the latest development, will the decision of a Los Angeles jury have an impact on the UK government as it considers potential future regulations on social media, writes the BBC's political editor. Why China views the UK visit as part of something bigger. Here is what is being reported. Sir Keir Starmer is one of a number of world leaders heading to Beijing. The Lib Dem manifesto in 60 seconds. Here is what is being reported. BBC Wales' Gareth Lewis outlines the key details from the Welsh Lib Dem Senedd election manifesto. Can we afford to keep the UK safe? Here is a little more context. Former NATO chief warns UK's national security in peril. Silicon Valley is spending millions to stop one of its own. The report says that Alex Bors, a former Palantir employee, helped pass one of the country's toughest AI laws. Now Silicon Valley's biggest names are trying to stop his rise to Congress. Israelis don't feel much like victors in war with Iran. Here is a little more context. The regime in Iran has not changed and the nuclear and missile threats have not been eliminated, leaving many Israelis to wonder what this was all for. I'm not being listened to. New health plan launched as women say they are still ignored. Here is the broader picture. New plans to improve health care for women and girls have been set out, but will they change anything? Ship spoofing in Strait of Hormuz may compound confusion. According to the report, a new pattern of deceptive activity by some vessels around the critical waterway suggests the new American blockade is changing how some ships linked to Iran are behaving. This is how Trump is already threatening the midterms. Here is what is being reported. Wired surveyed the ways the Trump administration is working to manipulate this year's midterm elections. Messy and unpredictable, what I learned from election tour of the UK. Here is what is being reported. BBC Radio 5 Live's Matt Chorley talks to voters in England, Scotland, and Wales to get the real story on May's elections. Max Hodak's Science Corporation is preparing to place its first sensor in a human brain. The report adds that the device could help address multiple neurological conditions if it proves successful. One early use could be delivering gentle electrical stimulation to damaged brain or spinal cord cells to encourage healing. Why is it so hard to fix an electric bike? 2026. The report adds that bike shop mechanics have lost fingers and their shirts while repairing a bikes of dubious origins. Make sure yours is reparable and third-party certified. Are companies Bayern a glimpse at football after Guardiola? According to the report, with Vincent Kompany making an impressive impact at Bayern Munich, BBC sports tactics expert Umar Irfan takes a closer look at the manager's unique style. Hungary's populist paradox. According to the report, we look at what Viktor Orban's defeat tells us about a model of government in which politics are more important than the economy. Many popes before Leo have been entangled in politics. Here are 5 of them. Here is a little more context. Leo XIV, under fire from President Trump, has joined predecessors like Francis and John Paul II in confronting political issues. Apple chooses Amazon satellites for iPhone, years after rejecting Starlink offer. Here is the detail behind it. Amazon announces $11.6 billion merger with Globalstar and satellite deal with Apple. You should be more freaked out by shingles. The report adds that the viral infection leaves millions with chronic pain, increased stroke risk, and lifelong nerve damage, yet vaccination rates remain dangerously low. These are the 3 power tools you need, 2026. In more detail, new to DIY and home repair? These are the essential power tools that will make your life easier, no matter what you're building and repairing. The most wired watches at Watches and Wonders 2026. Here is the detail behind it. Forget worldly woes for a few minutes and gawk at these spectacular and mind-bogglingly spendy timepieces we saw in Geneva. More details are available on the website. We will be back with more headlines shortly. We'll be back. Hello and welcome to your 24/7 radio station, Global News Radio.